پرخوش و دعوا پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا رفاقت زیادی دخالت‌های بیجا اظهار علاقه‌های غیر عادی لطفای تعمیری توقعای زیادی فداکاری‌های عجیب و جور و واجور کمک‌های بزرگ اما اونم بازور پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا برخوردهای عصبی پرخاش و دعوا پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا رفاقت زیادی دخالت‌های بیجا اظهار نظرهای بیمورد و خاص تصمیمای جدی ولی خب بی اساس تظاهر به علم و عقل و افکار امروزی از بس متاسف که مایه بسوزی پنج کیلو فخر ادعا یه منچستو ادا ادعا در صبر و صداقت اما خسیس و یه دام پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا برخوردهای عصبی پرخاش و دعوا پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا رفاقت زیادی دخالت‌های بیجا اظهار علاقه‌های غیر عادی لطفای تعمیری توقعای زیادی فداکاری‌های عجیب و جور و واجور کمک‌های بزرگ اما اونم بازور بابا چقدر ادعا برخوردهای عصبی پرخاش و دعوا پس دیگه بابا چقدر ادعا رفاقت زیادی دخالت‌های بیجا اظهار نظرهای بیمورد و خاص تصمیمای جدی ولی خب بی اساس تظاهر به علم و عقل و افکار امروزی از بس متاسف که مایه بسوزی گذشت و یک بودی
البيت هو مكان أحس فيه بالأمان.
يا بدر سما ناداك يدخل من الشباك جابرني بينا حنت مدى درقود
أنا ملحوقة
أتلا دمي حسن بس أنا ما بين حيس أمنا بين الجدران الأربعة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة أتلا دمي حسن بس أنا ما بين حيس أمنا بين الجدران الأربعة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة في صبح سمعت في الحجرة صوت حنين فيلن بتكلم معي من تحت لقى قد لي سنين وأنا رقد على شيقي اليمين جوابك تقلب يا حبيب على شيقي قدني أنا ملحوقة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة أنا ملحوقة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة أتلا دمي حسنة بس أنا ما بين حيس أمنا بين الجدران الأربعة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة أتلا دمي حسنة بس أنا ما بين حيس أمنا بين الجدران الأربعة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة الليلة داخل بغير عزومة واحد أجنبي ماسك جنبي يا ويلة بس لابس قفطان قال لي سنين وانا راقد على شيقي اليمين جوابك تقلب يا حبيب على شيقي قدني يا بدر سما ناداك يدخل من الشباك جابرني بينا وحنت مدى نرقد أنا ملحوقة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة أنا ملحوقة أنا ساكنة ملحوقة
أنا جديدة هنا في القرية من حين وصلت ما بيش معي هجعة بغير صحب وبدون صبر قدا واعين وحدة مفتوشة
میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم
اگه تو از من یه بار نساخته بودی که توی ذوقت بخورم بشکنم زودی اگه وقتی که محکم خوردم توی ذوقت کم نمیشد از اون همه خوبی و لطفه
میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم
اگه به حرفان گوش می که اگه نبودی قلوس و حساس بر نمیگردی بی خودی همش چپ و راست اگه گاهی هم تو به من میدادی مجال ای توی جمع هم نمیزدی زده حال یا اگه گیر نمیدادی به سر و بزم به رنگ ماتیکم به لباس و به وزنم اگه نمیگفتی هم یه کارم عجیبه که این کار از آدم عاقل بعیده بعد خودت با حماقت تو روی بسیار نمیکردی اون کارا رو دوباره تکرار میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم میتونستم با تو باشم اگه به جای این همه گله ها حرفا خب منم داشتم یه خورده گذشت و وفا اگه به جای این همه غرور و اطفال منم گوش دادم به حرفات حتی یک بار اگه به جای این همه بهانه گیری که مثل بهش میگن درد از سر سیری قدر تو رو میدونستم نه این که صد بار نه هر روز و نه هر شب اما تنها یک بار اما تنها یک بار اما تنها یک بار نه صد بار تنها یک بار نه صد بار تنها یک بار نه صد بار تنها یک بار
Hi everyone, I'm Dana Kreitz. I'm an actor and a filmmaker in New York City and a friend and a collaborator of Jessica Lea Risco's. And I'm really excited to welcome you all to today's live performance of Make No Mistake by Betty Shamieh, directed by Susannah Martin and featuring Naseem, Etemad, and Jessica Lea Risco. We are so excited to share this short play with you. Make No Mistake premiered at the 2017 Reorient Festival with Golden Thread Production in San Francisco, California. Several months ago, Jessica had a vision of this play on Zoom. Given the circumstances and built-in isolation of the play, she wondered how it would translate to a live virtual performance. Susannah Martin, who also directed the original production, was the obvious choice to remount this piece, not only because she knows the play so intimately, but also because she is a visionary and she is so open to play and forging a new path. So what you will see is not only a beautiful play about women and power, but also an experiment in form. No longer is performance divided between theater and film, and we're excited to hear your thoughts. Thank you so much for being here. As you know, proceeds today go to supporting artists at Shotgun Players in Berkeley, California, and Golden Thread Productions in San Francisco. Your generous support is so needed and appreciated. Thanks again. The play itself is about 20 minutes long. And after the performance, please join us for a talk back in Zoom. We'll drop a Zoom link in the chat. Thanks and enjoy Make No Mistake.
Scandal is affecting how the public views the president.
Bin Laden's youngest wife, who was in the compound, the wives and several...
I think that just being tied up in something like this is a serious problem for the president.
Now in Pakistani custody, and U.S. officials are eager to speak to the wives. Said one of the wives never left the same floor as Bin Laden.
If he now admits he had sex with her, he is unfit to lead the nation and ought to have the decency to resign.
Make no mistake about it. I have other options.
I have a choice.
I am smart in school, driven, ambitious to get out of my Midwestern town, and I do. No one can ever say I'll never make it out of that town.
I could say no. I can't do it. I can't marry him.
I don't have to become what I become. I have other ways to get ahead in life, it's true. I don't have to rely on my ability to inspire desire in a man more powerful than I'll ever be.
More powerful than everyone I know will ever be. To tell the truth,
I've always been interested in power. Why some people seem to have all of it and why I feel like I have none. I guess it's all relative though, isn't it? I mean, it's not like I was born in Saudi Arabia or anything.
I am called a gift, but everyone knows I'm more than a gift.
I am introduced to him at a fundraiser for his campaign.
He's being strategic by marrying me.
It's one of those introductions. You know the kind. Where one man says to another, Mr. President, have you met Amy? But I'm not actually being introduced. No one's talking to me. The men are smiling at each other, communicating with each other. Have you met Amy isn't a question. It's a statement. It means here, check this one out. She's game. Thing is, it's true. I am game.
Osama wants to align himself with my family's tribe. He thinks he might have to move to Yemen, that it's only a matter of time before all his friends in Afghanistan and Pakistan turn on him. If you marry into my tribe, you become one of us. The men in my tribe are known to be noble, loyal, brave. Osama's men scout around for a proper girl, interview a few of my cousins along with me. They're looking for a girl who is grounded, who won't buckle under pressure, but a girl who does what she's told. I'm clever enough to hide my cleverness, to present myself as humble, pliant, devout. I want to be picked. They make it very clear to my father that it is likely I will spend the rest of my life on the run. My father takes me aside and says, Amal, you don't have to do this. I can tell them you don't have the stomach for that kind of life.
My parents did the best they could for me. I come from a very decent family. That is the word I would use to describe my family, decent. My father was a mailman and a volunteer firefighter. I am selected to be the mistress to the president because I have a shyness about me. I'm not the type of person who'd go telling their tale to the press. Make no mistake, I am selected and presented to him in this way and for this purpose by his handlers because every good handler knows how a powerful man likes to be handled. I'm a private person. Most people can sense that about me. Once upon a time, I was truly interested in a career in politics. I thought I could go pretty far. Maybe even go back home and run for state senator. But I am ready to be stripped of my illusions of grandeur when I meet the man who will become my lover and my president.
I had skipped 2 grades in school, and I'm training to be a teacher. At an all-girls school, of course. I could stay in Yemen, marry a boy from my village, and have a quiet, safe life. I know it would be dangerous to be the wife of such a man. And that's all I know when I agree to marry this stranger that not even my parents have met.
You see, I'm a woman with a past. The kind of past that will always haunt my future. I wasn't wild, but I acted wildly. Does that make sense? Oh, I did stupid things. Stupid things that were uncharacteristic of me because I was trying to change my character, shake off my natural reticence, overcompensate for it, eradicate it. So, yes, there are topless photos of me floating around. And yes, they will float to the surface if I ever try to do anything of note, like try to make money by telling the press I was being pursued by the president. Or run for state senator.
From that day forward, I never sleep soundly again. I know every Arab leader wants my husband dead. I try to convince myself we would be okay if we stick to non-Arab Muslim countries where we'd always be strangers who speak a foreign language. And so my husband can never rival local leaders for power or prestige. I have no idea he's planning to attack America itself. I think he is going to stick to bombing American embassies and other things I know he does. None of us think Osama's capable of doing what he does. Not even him. He never speaks to me about his plans for the future, when he speaks to me at all. I never imagined I would grow to be anything but anxious around him. I never imagined I would try to take a bullet for him.
I convinced myself that he loves me. You see, he's the center of my world. I have to quit my job because I have to be free when I'm called for, though I'm not called for often. I think some men like the idea of having a mistress more than actually having a mistress. I am put on the payroll as an employee of the family's foundation. I make a paycheck that covers my bills and then some. Oh, he talks to me about his kids. He's proud of them. Asks my advice on how to talk to them. He never promises to divorce his wife when he leaves politics, but that doesn't stop me from hoping.
His other wives tell me that I'll only know that he truly trusts me when he confides in me about his political plans. So when he tells me he's going to leave me in Yemen with my family for a while because it'll be safer for me, I ask if he's planning another attack on an embassy.
I want to meet his kids, but not as a mistress, as a friend. I feel close to them. I feel like I should know them. Strange as it sounds, I feel like I'm part of the family. I ask if I can meet them.
It is a mistake.
He yells at me.
He gets very quiet.
I think he believes I'm going to try and tell his daughters about our relationship. Doesn't believe that I just want to meet them. He says he'll kill me if I ever go near his girls. That a woman like me isn't fit to be in their presence. He calls me names and then he does something worse.
When he finally speaks, he says, if I ever ask an inappropriate question again, he will divorce me. Which means disgrace for myself and my family. There are women who can handle disgrace. I'm not one of them. Which means I can never ask questions again. I can never know what might be deemed inappropriate.
He leaves me alone.
With my family in Yemen, I watch the towers fall on TV. I watch images of my husband on every channel. I know I'm being watched. But I believe my husband will call for me one day.
I don't mean to sound arrogant, but I know that he'll come back to me one day. And not just because the paychecks keep coming in, keep confirming that I'm an employee of the family's foundation. There aren't a lot of women who would live like I do. Be as discreet as I am. In that time that I spend waiting, I make one new friend. I can't help it. I tell her that I'm fucking the president.
I give one interview to a big Arab newspaper.
It is a mistake.
I can't help it. Those towers go down and I feel like the whole world is waiting for me to respond. And I know that everyone in Yemen would read my interview. And that makes me feel important.
I tell her that she better not tell anybody else, in the same way that I was told by one of the president's handlers. He took me by the arm after the first time I met with the president alone, and he hissed, "Accidents are not always accidents. People disappear all the time. You better keep your mouth shut." And that's exactly what I say to her. Word for word. It's funny how original we think we are when we often just go around repeating to others that which was once said to us. In my case, threats are unnecessary. I can't stand the thought of being a public person if my only claim to fame is sleeping with a married man. Having people in my face, asking me questions, digging into my past. I can't sleep that night.
When the reporter asks if I think I'll ever be reunited with my husband again, I say, we'll see. And I end the interview. I can feel him leering at me, asking me to speculate if I think my husband is yearning for me and me alone and will do something about that yearning. I know there's no way my husband can contact me and bring me to him without attracting the attention of the people who are watching me, supposedly trying to find him. Part of me wants to see my husband again. Part of me wishes I never met him.
I call her the next day and I tell her that, of course, I wasn't having an affair with the president. I was just pulling her leg. I wanted to see if she was naive enough to believe me. She never calls me again. And I stop going out altogether. And I wait in that apartment for 6 months for my president to return to me. And he does.
I am smuggled back to him to a compound in Pakistan. I know there's no way the people who are looking for him could not follow my trace. If they are competent and numerous and well paid, which they are. Am I to believe that these people would not be watching the young wife that my husband left in Yemen, which is what even the most foolish detective would do? No, it's clear we're not hiding from the Americans. We're hiding from the fools who might actually take seriously the idea that the Americans in charge have no clue where my husband is for several years, or at least as many as the 5 I live with him after he calls for me. Those fools would go running around alerting everyone that they spotted the elusive Osama bin Laden. And they would apparently embarrass the American government into being forced to take my husband's life, which they weren't ready to do at that time. This is all conjecture, of course. I never actually know what's going on. I'm not allowed to ask inappropriate questions, not even when they concern my life or the life of the daughter and son I bear in that compound.
I never ask about his kids again. But he isn't shy about telling me stuff that I think he should probably keep secret. Stuff you don't hear on the news. That always surprised me. But you see, nowadays, nobody believes anything except that they don't know what to believe. In an environment where everyone assumes they're always being lied to, it rarely matters if the actual truth gets leaked.
All I know is that I'm scared because my husband is scared. He knows it's only a matter of time.
He tells me that his advisors have advised him that it is strategic to keep Osama bin Laden alive for the time being, but not in order to justify more war, like so many people believe is the case. Wars can go on and will go on even after one man is taken off the grid. No, he says that bin Laden is described to him by his advisors as the head of a snake. If you cut off the head of a snake, 1,000 more will grow. It's easier to track the movements of one big snake than fend off 1,000 smaller fangs that can come from any direction. Sounded convincing to me. Convinced him.
I was almost glad when it was over, when the assassins we knew would come finally came and it was done. Years and years of living in fear that not only I, but my children would die with him.
I am surprised that that next president ignored the advice of those same advisors and cut off the head of the snake. I know it must have made him upset to not get credit for that. Of course, I won't bring it up when he calls for me again. Now that he's no longer president, it's even harder for him to get away. I stay at home a lot, watch the news, wait. I read that bin Laden's youngest wife was my age, and that she jumped in front of men with guns to shield him, sacrificing herself for him. I thought, oh, what a terrible life she must have lived. That poor, poor woman. Thanks so much for coming to Make No Mistake. We'll give the actors just a few minutes to reset, and then we will start the talk back in the Zoom. There will be a Zoom link in the chat.